Hey, welcome back to another edition of Everything Football 62. I'm your host, Jonathan Big Tex Johnson, a.k.a. Uncle Tex, a.k.a. Professor Tex. It's going to be pretty quick. I just had to say this because I was hearing something about this late last week. And I just wanted to speak up on it real fast. NFL head coaches is having a time this past 10 days. It's been real funny as shit to me. You know, you go back into the African American community, and one of the things in Africa, and this is always pretty much amongst guys, it's always dudes. I don't care where you're from, New York, Texas, Cali, wherever you're from, any place where it was, African Americans at, and to this day, especially within New York, because the mouthpiece. I've always said, New York. And I've said this, I don't think I've ever said it on camera, but when you go back to rap, I will always pretty much say that, to be perfectly honest, if you want to go like the top 10 rappers, they gonna come from out of New York. And then you can throw everybody else up in there because that's where it started at. Cats from New York, they slick with the wordplay. Always have been, pretty much probably always will be. It's slick with the wordplay. Saying slick with the wordplay, but that's one of the things that makes, I think, into an extent, whether it's good, bad, indifferent, or whatever the case may be, one of the things about us is taking things, they've always say taking something negative and making it a positive. However you want to look at that, right? But one of the things that was always done in the black community is something that they used to call, back in the day, the dozens. That's me ranking on each other or making fun of each other and stuff. One of my favorite albums is Diamond D's album. Him and Psychoneurotics, his first album that came out, Best Kept Secret and all that good stuff, where they actually doing the dozens on that. The dozens, for those that don't know, like I said, you're making fun. Your mama's so fat, whatever. You hear the stuff on Living Color. All that different type of stuff. I'm not a jokester and all that kind of stuff, but I'm just saying those are the types of things you hear. Your mama jokes and all this other type of stuff. Your head so big, it's this, that, and the other. All of that stuff called the dozens, right? So when I ran across the thing about what John Gruden said back in 2011 as just being John Gruden, he wasn't a coach. I think he might have been working for ESPN at the time, doing a little quarterback school stuff and doing, I think, Monday Night Football and whatnot. And this is during the time when it was getting ready to be possibly a strike. Major things was going on with the with football, the safety of it, and all that other kind of stuff was going on. Was the fact that Gruden he came out this past week and he apologized to DeMar Smith, the NFLPA executive director. An email said that, and he said in one of the emails, Gruden said that Smith had lips the size of Michelin tires. I'm sorry. I'm fucking sorry. That shit is comical. Yeah, say what the fuck you want to say. That shit's comical. If Mike Tomlin said that, if Tony Dungy said that shit, if Art Shell said that shit, or whatever, in that manner, what would have really happened? Because we've heard shit like that all our life. If a joker had big ears, back where I come from, he's called Woovel ears. You know what I'm saying? It was always something. Soup coolers. You know what I'm saying? Called soup. Your lips up, let me put them soup coolers on it. I mean, we've heard, and if any black person, black, Nubian, whatever you, African American, whatever the hell you want to call yourself, that shit, that's part of what went on. So when he said that, and because people have made fun of it, and it's so funny because people made fun of the lips, but yet you have people of other races get lip injections to have fuller lips. When it's bubble lips when it comes to us, but it's getting your lips full and whatnot. So when he said that shit, dude, I cried. I laughed so hard I cried up in there. I just actually read that earlier today, the emails, because I never saw the emails. And just is crazy that they said that the NFL told the Journal that it had reviewed over 650,000 emails during its investigation. I wonder how much money these people get paid to do that. 650,000 emails? That's absurd. The league has spent a pertinent emails for the Raiders to review. John Gruden has since apologized, and he's not racist, he's not this, he's not that, he's not. And I'm like I said, shit is funny as shit to me. That shit cracked me up. That shit cracked me up. I'm sorry, it cracked me up. Because if somebody else said that about, if it was a black guy that said that about that just, but of course you, in this today's culture, in this cancel culture, you can't say shit. It's like the fucking gun. Once you pull the trigger, man, you can't put once you pull the trigger, you can't put the fucking bullet back in the chamber. You can't call it back. It's gone. Or the old saying, you can't take the toothpaste and put it back in the tube. So when you hit that send button, bro, that's all she wrote just about. I have views on a lot of different things that I could possibly talk about, but I won't, because that's none of nobody's goddamn business. You know what I'm saying? So I keep it football. And because that's one of my first loves. And that's, so I keep it that way. I keep it on football. I don't keep it on anything else. I could get political. I could get on some old silly, I could get on some old what they call conspiracy theory shit. I could get on a whole bunch of shit. But for what? I'm not doing it. That's why it's called everything football. But I'm saying this to say that, between him and Urban Meyer, it's like these guys are from my age bracket, but they're a little older than I am. I'm in my mid 50s. These guys are pushing their late 50s, right? Pushing 60. So it's like they got me by about 4, 5, 6 years here and there. So it's like, so when these guys say the shit that they say, right, and do the things that they do, you got to realize you're in the era of social media. Now, I seen one guy, well, he's a rapper, what's his name, Piles or whatever his fucking name is. He's like, yeah, Urban Meyer was in some club, and they said, no, he was in his restaurant. That's his restaurant that he went to chill in, right? And old girl was assaulting his lap with her ass. That's something that don't nobody want to talk about. But it's okay for a woman to come grind up on a man anytime. Well, that's all good. But if a man come grind up on a woman, that's a completely different story. So that's another lane. I ain't gonna even get into that, but I know what I seen. I mean, shit, he gonna do what any goddamn man gonna pretty much fucking do. But these guys don't realize you're being taped and recorded all the time. That's the world we live in. You're in the social media age. Somebody's viewing that, they seeing that, they taping that. You know what I'm saying? I've even heard what the damn girl's mother was like, oh, she's being known for this, she's that, she got to keep her job. She didn't do anything wrong. She's just being a fucking girl. That's what broads do. And that's what old men do with some goddamn young 20-some-year-old, some young 20-some-year-old girl come put their goddamn ass in your fucking lap. That's what's going to happen. Now, should he have been that? No. As a leader of a football team, it's just certain shit you just can't do. But then again, at the same time, it's certain shit you think your president's supposed to be able to do or shouldn't do. Did it anyway, and still, we don't even talk about the insurrection. But again, that's not my lane. But I see what I see. I watch that shit live. I'm in D.C. or I'm in Northern Virginia. I'm right up the road from fucking D.C. I lived in D.C. for over a decade. So I know what the fuck, I know what's happening there as far as that shit that goes. So I know, in that area and whatnot. So therefore, the shit that happened, it was crazy. But I just find it funny that these guys do the shit that they do and don't realize it, don't pick up that, like, dude, you're in a whole nother era now. So you can't say silly shit. You got to keep that shit to yourself. He talked some shit about Roger Goodell. I don't know exactly what it was. That's the shit that stood out because it's racial. It didn't really stand out with the shit with Roger Goodell that much because, well, Roger Goodell and John Gruden are both white. Right? But would this would have happened, would this even would have even came out had it been, had it been black on black, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? If it was on some black on black shit. Right? Who knows? I don't know. I just know that these guys got to watch what they're doing. Whether, he feels this way about it, I've always heard him, you're a coach and 70% of 70% of the game that you coach, that you've made a living, that you've made a lot of money from, is 70% black. And these are the types of things that still happen. It just goes to show you. Say we come along, seeing Randy Moss breaking down on TV, right? But this is where we at, and it's unfortunate. But the other side of the shit with me, this shit was funny because if that would have been me saying that about some other cat that you know, what I'm saying that you get his damn lips the size of Michelin tires, guys' sides are cracking. Whether or not you agree with me or not, that's irrelevant. I just found that shit funny as shit. And I just find it funny that this is what's happening with these different folks right about now. And it's just something that's happening. And this is because of the climate. And all of this kind of just basically stems back from the whole George Floyd thing and the Derek Chauvin. Statues and shit being yanked down. Holidays coming up. The names changing of the holidays. Black Juneteenth stuff coming up as a holiday. It's all good because, you know, I work in those particular areas and whatnot, and I get paid to be off. So it's all good for me. It's win-win. But that shit probably wouldn't have happened. John Gruden probably would be going through the shit he was going through, social media shit or whatever like that. And all that, if old boy just kept his fucking knee off old boy's neck. But all that shit has completely changed over the past year. So it is what it is, man. I don't, you know, like I said, man, the shit, just him saying that, using that term, that shit was funny as fuck to me. And, you know, he was upset about a lot of shit because the NFL was possibly supposed to strike and all this other shit was going on back during his time, player safety. So he's blowing off steam and pissed off and mad, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But, you know, you push the send button. So you got to be cognizant of the time and place where you at, man. And there's no excuse for it. So I'm just going to see what's going to happen. What is the NFL going to do about this? I've never been a Roger Goodell fan anyway, so, you know, fuck, you know, the hell with that. But this is what I'm saying, man. So, you know, I just wanted to throw my little 10 cents on that, man. I'll probably be back tomorrow with my little weekly roundup of the games this past Sunday. I'm getting ready to watch this Indy game and Baltimore game. Hopefully Lamar go ahead and do what he do and go ahead and get that W and whatnot. But and I'll go back and talk about some of the games and stuff like that tomorrow sometime. And like I tell you guys out there, man, push that like button, share, share and everything like that. And I gotta tell you all the time, there is no GOAT, there's no greatest of all time as long as time's still going on. And I tell you guys all the time, numbers don't lie and get emotional. People do. Right? And, you know, Michelin tires. I'm sorry, y'all. That shit is fucking cracked me up because I wasn't expecting to see that. Y'all guys have a good one. Talk to y'all later.